beautiful people, and welcome to my video and the show. My name is Alex, aka In the Bat Loop, and this is Movie Review with a Bat. Something new I'm doing on my channel now. I do constant movie reviews and shows, but I always either did it as a live stream, didn't give it a name, put it on my podcast with Chat with the Bat. But if it's not live, you guys really technically aren't chatting with me, so that podcast fits more when I'm live streaming. So anyways, for those who are new here, welcome. I'm not gonna ask you to subscribe. Watch the video. If it's for you, check out my channel. If it's for you, hit that subscribe button. If not, just follow along, hit that like button. I would really appreciate it. As you guys can see below, those are all my other socials. I got TikTok, Twitch, and later on, or when this ends, I'm going to upload the audio file for Spotify. So if you're someone that just wants to hear the audio file of this, don't fret. I have an audio file and you don't want to watch a video, I will put it up on Spotify. You'll be able to watch or listen. I'm over here talking. You will listen to it, to my lovely voice, and it is called Chat with the Bat. So if you guys did not know, I do a podcast. It is called Chat with the Bat on Spotify. You can look me up, follow me there. I'm trying to grow there, so please do, especially if you are into podcasts. So yeah, Spiderman Across the Spider-Verse has been out now for several weeks, and this is kind of I guess I can't say it's a late review, but let's talk about it. Let's talk about this film. There was so much hype there was so much hype for this film from the first one, and a lot of people were really excited. The first one, I think opening weekend made, maybe, don't quote me on this, I think it was like 20 or 30, somewhere between 20 and 40 million dollars, which is it's okay. Like, that's like, I guess, average. It's okay. It's not bad. It's definitely not bad. It's okay. But this movie actually opened up and made 120 million dollars. So if we go over here to my other little screen, so as of 2023, this is the best films that have done so well for opening weekend in the box office. Super Mario Brothers is still up there at $143 million. That is crazy. Next up is Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse, $120 million. Guardians of the Galaxy made 118, and Little Mermaid went 118 and some change. So they both made some change. To both pretty much tied it through. I think Guardians of the Galaxy made just like a little bit more, 118 point something. So it's like some change, y'all. So technically they're both tied for 3. But if you want to say this is a top 4, here you go. So Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse did make, 120 million. The second one, Across the Spider-Verse, and that's excellent. That's really good, as you can see, for just 2023. Out of all the films that already came out for 2023, we're in June, $120 million is really good. Look, it did better than Guardians by 2 million, so that's really, really good for Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse. And then if you're looking at right now the Rotten Tomato score as of this recording, it is doing really well for Rotten Tomato score and the critic score. That is an excellent score. So, which all of this means it's an excellent film. I highly recommend this film. Spider-Man, is one of my favorite superheroes in the world of Marvel, even though I don't like Marvel. For anyone that's new here, and those who do know me, I don't like Marvel. I know you guys are gonna go crazy in the comments, but Spider-Man was one that I did grow up watching. So when they did this animation, and I'm gonna admit this, I would be the first one to admit this, when the first film came out, y'all, and I didn't like this animation style. I really didn't. When I saw how they were doing this animation style in the first film, I was like, why? Like, why? And then so many people, word of mouth was just spreading, and so many people were like whispering, this is good, this is great, this is an amazing movie. So I went to go watch the first one, and it blew me away. So I've been excited for this one. And again, you guys, this film blew me away. The animation goes to a whole nother level. Just so beautifully just done. It's just so eye pleasing, and it's hard to describe. I mean, for those who've seen the trailer, it is done so well, and it looks so realistic, and it's just this kind of color palette and this art style that just looks beautiful, amazing, and fits for this Spider-Man, for Miles Morales. Would I like to see other Spider-Man versions in this type of art style? Yeah, probably. If they do it in this way, it's so entertaining. Just like the different shifts of the camera angle, and the just the different, them going from one scene to the next scene to this next scene. It's so smooth, and it's just so like, and if you're someone that has like, ADHD, like there's so much going on the screen that you can't sit there and get bored, or it's just, there's always something popping and getting thrown at you, whether it's the colors or the action or the motions or the reaction or the comedy. I mean, it's just the camera angle going from here up there, swinging up close, and it's so unique. And they took it to a whole nother level in the second one, and it makes this film very entertaining. I will say this, I will admit it, you guys let me know in the comments below, but when I really loved how they started this film. It started focusing on Gwen and her story with her dad. And I loved that because they gave us enough backstory that didn't take too much time, and didn't to focus too much time on her and took it away from Miles Morales, because this is a Miles Morales film. Gwen and all of the sea is very important in the world of Spider-Man. But they did enough to show us a backstory. And here's the thing, from Gwen to Miles, throughout the whole film, they put this family dynamic aspect in the whole film, and it gets you to focus on the importance of family and the emotions and the closeness. Like, there's no, when it showed Gwen and her father, like, you could just feel, the love she has, the closeness, and how difficult for her is. Again, this is spoiler, so for anyone who did not know, this is spoiler conversation. But when that scene, when he was like, you're under arrest, when she finally, when they got the vulture, the whatever was, the 18th century vulture, she was saying like, no, I didn't kill Spider-Man or Peter Parker, da 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 da. And then she finally takes off the mask and says, Dad, you know me, you're a good guy, you're a good cop, and I'm just trying to be a good cop in my own way, and I didn't kill him. And he sat there and he was so confused, and he was like, how long did you know? And you just feel the tension and the intensity, and you're just like, oh. And she tells him, and he's like, you have the right to remain silent. And that one shocked me, because I did not think he was going to say that to his daughter. And that one hurt. And the look on her face, you guys, the expression off her face, the camera, the scene, the tone that they did in this movie just pulls you in, and it makes you care about Gwen and her reaction to her father. And you're just kind of like, instead of going like, whatever, whoop-de-doo, can you move on to Spider-Man, to Miles Morales? And it was done so well, and it was touching and moving. And then there was some other Spider-Mans that kind of came and stopped her dad from trying to arrest her, and she went with this group, and they're going into, she's part of this, like, it's kind of like it's a whole spider world where all the Spider-Mans come in this central hub, and they're like part of this like secret agent group or something, to make sure all the worlds are held together. And there's one individual, and I cannot think of his name right now, but he I think he's like Spider-Man 2099, and he's the one that's like in charge, And so anyway, she joins them, they go, and then it goes into the Miles Morales story. And now you're focusing on Miles Morales and his family. And his parents are at a school meeting, and he gets there, and you could just see again this family, dynamic being created in this film in the beginning to show you guys like, hey, we want you to see how close they are with their family. We want you to see the importance of family in this film because it plays a very key part throughout the whole film. And it really does. It, from the mom and dad, him leaving and they're like he's grounded, but or when Gwen is gonna go looking for him and the mom's like, hey, when you find him, tell him he's grounded for 6 months, but that I love him. So there's just, I love that. I love that they didn't force it. They didn't just squeeze it. They didn't just have it in the beginning and then it was just kind of like, left to the side throughout the whole film. It was throughout the whole film, but they wanted to start it in the beginning to give you the introduction of like, this is key in this whole film. And they did an excellent job with it. Like, kudos to them. And before I get into more of the film, the I guess you could say he was the villain in the making, but Spot, he is a very creative and interesting villain. He starts off like it's just some kind of weird freak that had a freak accident, and he's on, I think they said that on some TV show that he was the freak of the week. Excuse me. And so, they have him and he's just kind of like trying to steal an ATM, and it was actually funny. And Miles Morales is just sitting there eating, and he's just like, well, this is gonna be easy. Like, I don't know what you are. Your interesting suit. He's like, what are you, a cow, a Dalmatian? Which is funny. And so you see the beginning of Spot kind of just like doesn't know what he is, and I guess he wants to get revenge, but he also wants to be taken seriously. So as Miles Morales is joking around and some other people, he's getting upset, and then he's like throughout the film trying to grow his powers. So Spot is actually a villain in the world of Spider-Man. He actually came in the 1990s animation show, if you did not know. But we go back to my other screen to give you guys some facts about him. Alright, so you guys, this is Spot from the 1990s, and this is what his powers are. So, using his space warps, the Spot can instantly move himself or any part of his body from one area to another over a theoretically unlimited distance via another dimension, nicknamed Spot World. The Spot can control and manipulate the warps to almost any degree he wishes. And so in this whole film, Spot is just kind of creating these spots, and he's just jumping in these like it's almost like a dark hole, like a black hole. He's going into this black hole, and they appear, and they're going anywhere. So he's like traveling, and he can kind of just manipulate the area, the atmosphere. And he can kind of just move as he pleases. It's like opening a hole to another opening in another dimension, as you can see, and he's warping through these holes. So if he could be like, I'm in New York, I could jump to San Francisco, if I could jump to China, by just creating this, I don't know what if he just thinks of it, whatever, but he's just creating these black holes going in, and it's like a tunnel to another area of the world or dimension, and that's crazy and amazing. So as you see this film, you definitely see him getting stronger and stronger, and like you see in this picture right here, you see how he kicked Spot, but because he's like an open hole and his black holes are part of other dimension, it opens up another spot right next to Gwen, and he kicks Gwen. Or like, so it's really cool how their dynamic is, and when they encounter each other and they're fighting, and you would think you would think it would make him a invincible villain, but his first introduction, he was pretty, I guess, subpar. And as the film gets going throughout the whole movie, he's getting stronger and stronger and getting things. And he's like, you know what? I'm tired of being the joke. You took my family away from me. You're going to pay. And I'm going to take everything away from you. Family, lover, your job, your career, everything, Miles Morales, because you did this to me. So, and then towards the end of the film, he gets really strong, and yeah. And so, like, there's just so much to talk about this film, you guys. But you got that going. You got when he goes into this hub station where all his Spider-Mans are at. Amazing. It's cool to see all. Y'all, there was a T-Rex Spider-Man. Can you believe that? There was a T-Rex Spider-Man going on in throughout the whole film, and it was cool. It was amazing to see the different variations of Spider-Man. You got like an India Spider-Man from India. You got like a rock band Spider-Man. You had, like I said, the T-Rex. You had like, oh, so many. Then they throw in little cameos. Like if you ever played the Spider-Man, the newest Spider-Man game, where he has like the white and everything, he's in there. Someone says like, oh, there's video game Spider-Man. He's like, video game Spider-Man? You're talking about me? And so it's really cool to see all these different Spider-Mans in this world. The only thing that I want to say that I probably have maybe a little problem with is when Miles Morales, I don't know if I have a picture of it here. Oh, this is a good one. When Miles Morales was standing up to the Spider-Man 2099, and because I can't think of his name, and he was like, I'm not going to let my father die. I'm putting my foot down, and that's it. And he starts escaping this hub and all these, which is funny. The Spider-Man 2099 was like, hey, you need to go after Spider-Man. They're like, Spider-Man, who? You? And it was so funny. But then he was like, no, Miles Morales. But anyways, he's leaving and trying to escape this hub where there's thousands and thousands of Spider-Mans. Tell me why not one of them could like catch him or web him up or anything. So it almost, in that scene, which goes on for like 10 minutes, it's almost like Miles Morales, they put him like if he was above all these Spider-Mans and better, and that he could easily like escape. So if you have a room or a building filled of all these amazing Spider-Mans, obviously I'm sure skill wise there's different levels, but let's just say they're all, from the best to the least, worse. Tell me why not one of them can like web up or capture Miles Morales. Like it was cool the scene and he's all running, but like I would thought he would have more of a struggle where like they tie him up and he's turning into a big old ball of web, but then he uses like his electricity and comes out and he's trying, and they're like grabbing him and they're pulling him down and he has to kick him and punch and he's bleeding and he's kind of going through. Like that would have been more realistic and interesting. But like to me, it was like if they're saying he was better than all the Spider-Mans that they couldn't even capture. I'm like, come on. All them Spider-Mans and not one could capture him. I was like, come on now. Come on. And he got away. Like, I don't mind if he got away, like, towards the end eventually, but, like, he was just slipping through and tricking and playing around with everyone. And I was just like, there's no way. Like, Miles Morales is, like, you're saying he's better than all the Spider-Mans. So that was my only gripe with this whole film. Also, maybe in the beginning, it kind of felt like it dragged just a little bit before they got to Miles Morales. Like, it wasn't bad. So when I look at how long the film was, I'm like, you guys could have probably cut like 10 minutes off of here. Like there's just certain areas in the film that just felt like they dragged too long. But overall, good film. That was a fun scene. I love that he stood up and he was like, hey, I'm my own Spider-Man. I'm going to make my own story and I'm not going to let anyone die. So I love that. Again, the emotions, you guys, the emotions were like a roller coaster in this film and it was great. And then seeing the original Spider-Man with his baby little spider, like she was the cutest thing, so adorable, so funny. The humor was from him and his little child throughout the whole film. And so, but yeah, you guys, there was just a lot of adult moments. There was a lot of serious moments. Again, the emotions, they were just up and down in this whole film. And overall, it just made it a really good film. And, from him talking to Gwen, like they were upside down, like it's just the dialogue, you guys, the communication, the dialogue with him and his family, Gwen, it was amazing, strong. It was just a lot of emotions, and it sucked you into the film to where it made you care about all these individuals. Obviously it made you care about Miles Morales, but everybody else. And I'm gonna end it with this, where when Gwen, get this picture of Gwen, when Gwen went and got she pretty much made her own band and got some people from the first film and some Spider-Mans in the new film, because Miles Morales, you guys already know, he was trying to go back to his world but went to the wrong world. He went to the spider world that the spider was supposed to bite the actual Spider-Man. So if you guys didn't know, again, spoilers, I feel like I'm jumping all over the place, but the Spider-Man, that the spider that bit Miles Morales was not meant for him. So it was like an accident. And so it threw off this one world. And so when Miles Morales finally escaped and he was trying to go back to his own world, the venom, it reads the venom, I guess the bloodstream of the venom inside him, and it read the world that it was supposed to be at. Because the spider, I guess, supposedly went to the wrong universe. So it sends him to the universe where the spider was supposed to be at. And he bumps into his, I guess you could say his twin, his doppelganger. And he's supposed to be Spider-Man, but instead he's, there's the Claw. So he's a villain in this world. And his mom is married to his uncle, and it was all thrown off, and it's weird. And so he's tied up, he's in trouble. And Gwen knows this because she was in his actual world, and she realizes this, and that's why she gets the band and the crew and it's like, hey, I'm coming for you, Miles Morales. And so you fast forward to the end, and you have this music going in the build up, and that's how the film ends, is that she got the crew, she's going after Miles. Miles is tied up, and he's like, oh crap, because he felt like in that moment he's the only one doing, or he felt like he's alone, because obviously he's just escaped. He didn't care for Gwen because he thought she backstabbed him and everything, so he's just like, I'm alone. So he's thinking he's gonna die, and they leave you on this cliffhanger, and it ends, and it says to be continued. Done so well. Like, as much as I hate films that do that, I don't hate them, but it's just like, really? And then I'm like, you guys are gonna make us wait, you know. I think, and I heard that it's gonna come out next year, so you don't have to wait too long. But like, that cliffhanger was done perfectly with the build up, and he gets captured and he's in the wrong world, and you're like, oh my gosh. And then Gwen's like, oh my gosh, and she knows, and she gets the band, and she's like, we're gonna go get him. And then they're all like running towards the camera, and then it goes back to Miles and his twin, and he's a villain, and then it ends. You're just like, that's how you do it, you guys. If you're gonna leave everyone in a cliffhanger, that's how you do it, because now anyone that enjoyed this film is now on the edge of the seats, and now they're craving for the next film, and you're getting them anxious and ready, and that's going to build up the intensity and hopefully maybe more of a crowd, so that they do maybe more than 120 million opening weekend. But that's how you get people to fall in love with your film. There's a lot of people who are going to hate it because people don't like to be left on the cliffhanger, but that's how you get people excited for the next one. And they don't have to wait they're going to wait for the trailer, but you get people now anxious and ready for the next one. And if it comes out next year, people don't have to wait that long. So yeah, you guys, so definitely go watch this film. It's a good film. I've heard people watch this film multiple times. I probably will go watch it again, because you miss cameos, you miss little things here and there. And so, very good film, excellent film. You have to go see it. I feel like if I give it a 9 out of 10 bats, I feel like it's not 10 out of 10 so perfect. It's like, is this the perfect film? Because I'm just not looking at as the best comic book movie, but is it the perfect film, or like the best that overall get it a 10 out of 10? You know, with everything that was going on, even though I had like a few things that I'm like, I think I have to give this a film 10 out of 10. 10 out of 10 bats, you guys. So let me know in the comments below, did you enjoy this film? What is your score? What did you give it? Did I miss anything? Is there anything you want to add in the comments? We can have a discussion there. I'll think about if I do a live stream so I can actually talk to you guys about it. But go watch this film. 10 out of 10 bats. Really good film. Watch the first one first. Get into the second one. The third one is coming. And this was spoiler conversation. So on that note, always be yourself. Unless you could be Batman, then always be Batman. See ya.